The man, the myth, the legend. Keetongu is peak Bionicle. Let's dive into why this set is so good, and we're gonna highlight his wonderful part selection as well. We also got some sweet revamps. Oh, baby, this is an action-packed episode. Let's get right to it. Something I love so much about Keetongu is how unique this set is. Like visually, this set is a cut above the rest. Yeah, alongside some of the other Titans, he's a short king with a really bold color scheme and that singular mono eye. He just stands out. And in the story, he just feels extra special. Because this dude is a Rahi. Now, if you're familiar with Arahi, they're meant to be the creatures of the Bionicle universe. They're the fauna, the wildlife. This dude doesn't seem to fit that description at all. But that always excited me as a kid. He was a legend. He was an enigma. He was like nothing you'd seen before. And I don't even think you needed to know that story to feel that when you looked at this set. This was something special. And bro had the power to cure the Toa Hordika and turn them back into their original Toa forms. Keetongu is dope. However, the set does have a few faults. His hand design, well, it's non-existent. Yeah, look, I understand that they're trying to use this exposed socket as his hand, but I mean, come on. That doesn't look like a hand at all, it just looks unfinished. I'd rather it look like, I don't know, literally any other Bionicle set that's out there. Give him just one extra piece for a hand. That way it can pose, that way it can move. Now, but I do like this wrist blade. That's pretty cool. And as much as I like this eye design, the way it's partnered with the Borok shield, it's top notch. Very original stuff right here. But the eye, it just can't move. Well, okay, it can, but when you move it, he just looks off. It's just sort of resting to the side a little bit too much. It doesn't quite flow all that well. I wish the whole rest of the head tilted with the eye. I don't know, I'm not a fan of it. Not a fan of how it moves. But other than those two things, those are my only complaints. Every section of him is brilliant. He's so well armored, he's perfectly stubby, but also quite bulky. It's great. Oh, and this other weapon. This is one of the most enjoyable play features you will ever find in a LEGO set. With a few twists, a little swirl here and there, you can dance these things around in quite a satisfying fashion. It's a great mechanism and a fun little play feature. Booyah! Oh, but we cannot forget, Keetongu's torso can be unlocked, and then it allows it to kind of flop forward, revealing an exclusive red Ratuka spinner. And you better believe you can launch this bad boy and give yourself hours of fun. Man, this is so transformative, and I like how hidden it is. You wouldn't expect it to do this. And I quite like that the red Ratuka spinner is really locked in there. Other sets have the problem where the Ratuka spinner will just kind of fall off if you handle the toy a little bit too much. But now this sucker is locked in there. Oh yeah, and the ripcord, when you're not using it, you can just rest it on the back. And it turns into a bit of a, I don't know, like an antenna. How quaint. But the most iconic part of this set, the colors. Keetongu is the set that gave birth to the wonderful color bright light orange. And fans of Bionicle, we of course call it Keetorange. I adore this color so much. It's just the perfect shade of yellow, giving it that little hint of orange. Thank you, Keetongu, for giving us probably one of the best LEGO colors. And you look so good in it. And thank you, Keetongu, for all these great pieces. Let's take a closer look and see how we can use them in our own creations. We're going to start off with Keetongu's Borok shield that we see on the head. Bionicles has managed to get a hold of quite a few of them, and now this creates this nice, subtle curved surface. It looks like layered armor. It looks like the exoskeleton of a bug. It looks awesome. Gengo Builds also uses this piece for this kind of like sumo wrestler. The larger belly design on this mock. It's using pieces that make up the sun in this LEGO Technic set. And my word, the way that those Borok pieces interface with this torso, it's brilliant. Such a clean transition between pieces. Wow. And one more for good luck. Why not use this piece in the way that it was originally intended? to build a Borok. You know, the other Borok sets, of course, they come with different coloured windscreen pieces. So of course, you have to use this to make a yellow one. You could also pick up some of the other colour variants and make all kinds of crazy cool Borok. I'd like to see that. Now for these slicer feet. The set comes with a lot. Bonkarella layers a few of them on the limbs. That very segmented look, it is top notch. We've even got a few being used for fingers. Hey, plenty of great ways to use this great piece. Keeping the Keetongu pieces coming, we have this foot element. And Ozcobot shows us just how good it can look on the face of a custom creature. Turning it into the head and kind of the nose. Sweet. Now what about these kind of buzzsaws? Well, what I like about these is how they're kind of that clean circle. And Carbon2003.pl, they show us how great this looks when you slap it on the torso of a Toa. And if you fill in that hole with a trans green stud, you got yourself a nice heart light. Oh, this is really something special. All of the armor on this is pretty great. Now what about some of the limb elements that he includes? Let's look at them. Fritzmox continues to use these, well, for limbs, but with a bit of a twist. Instead of these being like, you know, a part of the frame of the build that you put armor on top of, it's been flipped around. Now these are used as armor. Isn't it wild that you can use a piece in the exact same place, but you include it in such a different fashion? And now it's giving off a totally different look and feel. Quite nice, isn't it? And finally, this red Ratuka spinner that's seen on the torso. Would you believe that this is exclusive to this set? Well, in the color red. If you want a red one of these, it's gonna cost you about $7. Yikes. Don't be like me and go, hey, you know what? I don't have one of those, I need to pick one up. And then as my order arrives with that Ratuka spinner, I then find the one that I originally had. So now I got 2 of them, I guess. Anyway, Carlos Valero uses 4 of these in silver for the blades on a drone. I reckon this would look just as good if all 4 of these were red. It would still fit in with that futuristic police vibe that this has got going on. Even still, this is just a great part use for this piece. So that's the set, and those are the pieces. But you know what we do here. We got to take a look at 2 sweet revamps. Let's do it. You better believe that I'm going to be focusing on a mock by Eero Okanonen, another man who also really likes Kitangu. I mean, his name used to be Pate Keetongu. That was his online presence. Dude, giving him a giant spanner as a weapon, or no, a wrench, that's a wrench. I don't know why that works so well, but that is like the perfect weapon to give him. You couple that with the new bulky shoulder armor and this more kind of filled in head design. He's also got posable fingers, he's a lot taller. Oh, this rocks. Listen, I like my short, stubby king Kitangu, but tall, muscular, Giga Chad Kitangu? Even better. There's also a really nice part use here on the waist. We've got Ranu's torso, just tucked in here, forming the frame of that torso. Or part of it, anyway. That's such a good idea. I haven't really seen people use that piece in this context, but it's brilliant. But we have one more. This one is made by Jake's Brick Horde. So yeah, a pretty different approach. I do miss the Keetongu, but there is a reason that it's not here. This is taking inspiration from one of the old concept models for Kitangu. You don't see people doing that all that often. Taking inspiration from concept art, original models, prototypes, and using what was going on before to inform what you're doing now. Isn't there something so cool about seeing a prototype come to life? And then to see it be refined and given a new creative spin by this builder. I love this. Jake describes this as a post-apocalyptic interpretation for Kitangu. That kind of fits in with that Hordika aesthetic that we had in this wave of sets. Now you will notice the use of these repeated link pieces in brown. These have popped up in a variety of different sets in different colors, but one of my personal favorite sets that these pieces appeared in was the Hailfire droid from Star Wars. These have just been delicately strung together to form these intricate shapes and designs. It's beautiful. I mean, the curvature on the hat alone, that must have taken hours to get that to work. Thank you for having the patience to pull this off. because the end result is amazing. I love how it really does look like torn apart fabric, or just a very highly damaged piece of clothing. This feels old, ancient, and legendary. I also quite like how Spinax's headpiece is right here on the torso. Some of the facial features of that piece have been covered up by the brown pieces. So now you just get to focus on some of the prettier parts of that mask. Very nice. And then on the back, Hydraxon's head. That was the perfect way to give him just that little slight bit of a hunch, making him look old and wise. How good is this? A very different approach, sure, but it still captures that legendary essence that the original set did have. Kitangu, man, that is a peak Bionicle set. Hey, don't forget to take a look at the links below. If you want to see more work from these builders, that's where you can do so. Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy building, and bye for now. I still remember the joy that I felt when my mum came back from the shops and said, "Ben, there's a brand new Bionicle set in the store shelves and it is yellow." I was so excited.